I've played quite a few card games, but none of them have ever felt quite as good to play as Hearthstone. The problem is that regular Hearthstone has become bloated, and keeping up with it means either playing constantly or spending money on your collection. Battlegrounds gets rid of that problem. It still looks and feels like Hearthstone, but you don't build a deck before a match and you don't need a collection. Instead, you build an army from whatever the game gives you and then watch it completely ruin your plan. Despite that, Battlegrounds is still the best version of Hearthstone right now. So, let's start with the basics. Battlegrounds is an 8-player auto-battler that lives inside the Hearthstone client. First, you choose a hero with a unique hero power. Then you enter Bob's Tavern, where you can buy minions, refresh the available cards, or upgrade the tavern so it offers stronger ones. And there's never enough gold for everything you wanna do. Once the timer runs out, combat begins. Your minions attack automatically. All you can really control is where they stand and a few effects like taunt. After that, you just watch and hope, which usually means they will do exactly what you didn't want them to do. The loser takes damage, everyone goes back to the tavern, and the whole thing starts again. Last player standing wins, although finishing in the top 4 usually still increases your rating. That's the basic loop: buy, improve, fight. It sounds simple, but everything competes for the same limited pile of gold. So almost every turn comes down to one question. Do you make your board stronger now, or risk falling behind so you can become much stronger later? You can buy another minion and improve your board immediately. Or you can spend that gold upgrading the tavern, enter the next fight with a weaker army, and hope it pays off before you lose too much health. You also can't just decide before the match that you're going to play one specific build. I've started plenty of games with, let's say, demons, because Bob offered me several good ones early. A few turns later, the demons disappeared and the tavern offered me a key card for mech build instead. So now what? Do I keep wasting gold looking for demons, or abandon the original plan and start building mechs? That constant need to adapt is probably my favorite part of Battlegrounds. You can memorize every top build in the game, but Bob may have completely different plans for you. And when everything finally comes together, it feels fantastic. At first, your minions can barely survive. A few turns later, one card triggers another, your whole board starts growing, and the numbers reach the hundreds or even thousands. For a moment, you feel like a genius. Then, combat begins. Sometimes everything happens exactly as planned. Other times, your most important minion dies immediately, and the entire strategy collapses in about 3 seconds. That's where the whole skill versus luck argument starts. There's randomness everywhere. Which heroes you get, what Bob offers, who you fight, and where your minions attack, all of it can screw you over. The skill is in what you do with it. Better players spend their gold more efficiently, spot useful combinations, and know exactly when to give up on a build. Luck can absolutely decide one match, but if someone keeps winning over and over again, it's probably not just luck. Of course, when I win, it's because my strategy was brilliant. When I lose, the game was completely random and there was absolutely nothing I could have done. That's just how Battlegrounds works. But randomness isn't actually the most confusing part of the game. The cards are. Battlegrounds tells you what an individual card does. It doesn't tell you why that card matters or which 5 other cards can turn it into something ridiculous. There are 10 minion types, plus hero powers, tavern spells, trinkets, dark gifts, and a small dictionary of keywords. And that sentence alone probably sounded like I was reading patch notes. I've had games where I completely destroyed someone, only for them to come back a few turns later with minions so big they wiped out my entire board. I still don't always know how they did it. You don't need to memorize everything before your first match, but you should expect to lose while slowly working out which cards and combinations actually matter. Then there's the slight awkward part. Battlegrounds is free, but paying gives you more control. A free player gets 2 heroes to choose from at the beginning of a match. Buy the season pass and you get 4. Heroes aren't perfectly equal, so twice as many options obviously gives you a better chance of finding a stronger one. You can also re-roll heroes using tokens, and you can earn some of those for free. The Season Pass Plus gives you one reroll in every match without spending a token, because apparently one paid pass wasn't enough. So, is that pay to win? I wouldn't go that far. I play without the pass, and a strong hero still can't replace good decisions or guarantee the cards and attacks you need. So no, I wouldn't call it outright pay to win, but 4 choices are obviously better than 2, and pretending that it isn't an advantage would be stupid. Anyway, after coming back to Battlegrounds, here's where I landed. What keeps me playing is how different every match feels. You're always deciding what to buy, when to upgrade, and when to throw your original plan into the bin. And building an extremely powerful army feels fantastic when it works. What pushes me away is the random combat, the amount of stuff you need to learn, and the small advantage Blizzard sells through the passes. If you like improvising, building combinations, and making decisions under pressure, Battlegrounds is absolutely worth trying. But if one terrible random attack can ruin your evening, maybe don't. Battlegrounds is a great strategy game wrapped inside an incredibly effective anger management test. It can make me want to stop playing and still put me back in the queue 5 minutes later. It's free, it doesn't require a card collection, and you will know after a few matches whether its mix of strategy and randomness works for you. So, is Hearthstone Battlegrounds more about skill or luck? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.